Hello, and thanks for taking the time to listen to my story. I'm the milkman from Mars, as you may or may not know. Viewer discretion is advised. I'll tell you the story of the Furry Gamer War. And I'd like to preface this story by saying I was neither side, but not uninvolved in the war. More on that later. I'd like to take this story from the beginning, so if you don't mind, let's take a trip back to April 2014. The app Musical.ly hits the store. It's an instant hit. It's mostly ridiculed by the general populace, but children, creepy adults, and furries flocked to the app for a fun whatever they did. It was not an important app in the most sense, but it would start a controversy in the future. In 2017, November specifically, ByteDance secured a sale for $1 billion to buy Musical.ly, the app that had, since 2010, outshined their app, TikTok. With the sale of Musical.ly, TikTok gained its popularity as the Musical.ly replacement, mostly again being ignored, to begin with. With the rise of TikTok came a new group of people, a curious people coming just to see what was there. These new users seemed to notice a new feature called the Duet, a feature not supported on Musical.ly that allowed users to place their video beside a former video on the app. The Duet started an outcry among the users. The memers had moved in, and this was sure to cause a problem. The memers decided making fun of everyone was the way to go. They were indiscriminatory, but one group stood out, the furries, because they rebelled. And of course, nobody likes rebellion.
Uh-oh, gamers. There's a battle in the mist. Looks like we better armor up. Battle armor on! Weapons equipped! Gamers at the ready, and charge!
Quickly, these duets got more and more violent until battles broke out between the gamers and the furries, fighting over TikTok territory to see who truly belonged to the app. The furries felt the claim after they were on Musical.ly first, and the gamers seemed to ridicule the app, but the gamers claimed that they had had memes longer, so they felt the claim as well. The war was going to come to a cold stalemate. With the stalemate came propaganda from both sides. Public execution.
He can't get rid of me that easily. Who does that ungrateful little worm think he is? Does he, a little to the left, have any idea of who he's dealing with? How could he do this to me? Why?
Recorded videos of torture.
Lately I've been losing sleep, dreaming about the things that we could be. Baby, I've been praying hard. Said no more counting dollars, we'll be counting stars.
As well as battle scenes depicting their enemy as the, well, enemy. Now, it didn't work, and the war only got colder. The gamers lost a lot of land very quickly. It was obvious they needed help to win the war. So in comes the Allies, the Soviets. Many were drafted, and I stayed on a local base, mostly just as reinforcements, never truly deployed, but I got to see up close and personally what happened as a result of the war. Gamer morale was low. It was hard to encourage the troops when they'd lost so quickly. But then, Chief came up with a plan. Now, Chief wasn't my leader, for I was a Soviet, but the man just had an aura about him. He was truly inspiring. He came to us with a plan to turn the tide of the war. November 10th, National Hunting Day, he planned a full-out assault, everything we had, a true blitzkrieg. If it worked, it could end the war. Now, with low morale, the battle obviously would be ineffective and truly would be a defeat, but Chief announced a plan to try and boost morale with a special type of propaganda, aimed at his own troops, a real pick-me-up.
If the furry's ever just getting you down, just remember that gamers go to Uranus to become Einstein and the furries don't.
It was ultimately not that effective, and people started getting less and less excited for the day. But slowly, it showed up. The battles were an ultimate success. The gamers pushed them back and took the line. The territory was finally theirs again. But the stalemate regained once the day was over. With the gamers' victory, they got multiple different endorsements from people like Spider-Man, Groot.
Hey guys, it's me, Spider-Man. I'm here for the furry war. I'm on the side of the gamers. Let's get these furries.
And even a priest of a sort. With all the new faces, the gamers had true hope in this war, and the battle kept going. Despite all their attempts, the gamers never really could take back all the territory. Neither could the furries. The war came back to a cold stalemate, and it never moved.